Alabama Senator, Mr. Tommy Tuberville, great friend. Senator Tuberville, welcome as always. Just one quick word on this. I want to talk to you about the Voting Rights Act. I want to talk to you about the goings-on in support of the Voting Rights Act. But just this one point, you know, let's message right as Republicans. Newt makes a really important point. I tried to make it in the riff, whether it's the Voting Rights Act, which people favor, whether it's the TSA and reckon your spring break, and whether it's the war, the military mission in Iran to end their nuclear capabilities and end their 47-year state-sponsored terrorism war against the United States and the rest of the world. People are smart, you know, Senator. Just give them the right. Don't tell me about $3.60 or 70 cents right now. We are on the verge of changing history in the Middle East. That's the key point. And don't tell me that you need an ID to buy some tobacco. You need an ID to adopt a kid. Okay, there's God's work for you. But you can't have no ID for voting? Really? The heart of our democracy? This stuff that I don't get sometimes, Senator Tuberville. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, Larry, you're fired up today. I love it. I love it. Larry, you're exactly right, Larry. We are this close to solving one of the biggest problems for humanity across the world, yeah. and it's taken out the nuclear arsenal of Iran. They are the most evil people that you and I have had to deal with during our lifetime, the thousands of people that they've killed all over the world, and they're this close to being disarmed, and we got the Democrats out there shouting, you know, he's starting another war, we're going to take in. He's not going to send in ground troops unless he really has to at the end of the day, but I don't think that's going to ever happen. We've got troops going there from Marines, but they're more of a security detail. They're not really trained in the area of fighting of what you would think a normal Marine, but here's the deal, Larry. We've got to get stuff done up here in the United States Senate. We've got the House, we've got the Senate, we've got the White House, and we've got the one big beautiful bill done, and that's it. We can't do anything because we have so many rhinos up here that are saying we don't need to do anything else. We don't need to help President Trump. My people don't believe in this voting act. What? Come on. I mean, we are wasting one of the biggest opportunities in the history of government of what we're doing right now. We're wasting it, and it's just unfortunate for the American people, not just Democrats, but also Republicans.
So, Senator, what's going to happen? The Senate reconvenes tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I guess there'll be a debate, there'll be procedural motions, and then there'll be maybe filibusters, maybe not filibusters. Can you just give us a little capsule? I know you're one of the Republicans that wants to be most active in getting this bill across the finish line. May or may not be possible. We're going to have to fight like hell for it. What does fighting like hell for it mean in this case, sir?
Well, first of all, we're just going to put the bill on the floor at the end of the day and see how everybody votes. Everybody's going to be exposed. We're not going to do a talking filibuster or filibuster as we speak. Now, I'm all for doing whatever it takes. I don't work for the Senate. I work for the people of this country, and let's get something done. That's all they're trying to do is waste time and run President Trump's time out. But we're going to have a supplemental bill out there that's going to have the transgender surgery and the men playing in women's sports. We're going to have a couple other things that we'll vote on also, but the Democrats aren't going to vote for that. They've showed already. I've had two bills about men in women's sports, and not one of them have ever voted for it. So it's all just kind of a show vote. But that's what this week's going to be. We're not going to get anything done. We've done one thing. We've passed the one big beautiful bill. We've lived off of it now for 7-8 months, and we better get our butts back to work, or we're going to have tough times when it comes to an election next year. Not what the Democrats have done by not funding DHS and TSA and all that, which is a complete disaster. It's, hey, what have y'all done? What have the Republicans done? We haven't done anything. We've got a lot of people confirmed, but we had to bust a filibuster to do that.
You know, I'm just guessing, there's a couple of million, I don't know how many millions, of parents and kids that want to go south on the spring break, all right? They're coming from the northern cities, and they want to go to the southern cities, and they're not going to be able to go, or if they go, they may have to wait 4 hours, or maybe they won't even get through the TSA at all. Now, I don't know. I would want Republicans to be running ads making their case. We don't want this. We are willing to put the TSA folks back to work. We're willing to push you through the lines faster. By the way, knocking Iran off will help push them faster, maybe. So I'm just saying, but what's the message? In other words, I'm just saying the policies are pretty good. Republican policies, pretty good. Never perfect, but pretty good. Conservatives like us like them. The question is messaging, selling them, Senator. You know what I mean? I know you got to vote on the floor of the Senate, but even if you can't win and a Chuck Schumer wants to block you every step of the way, maybe that's the message that has to be sold. I'm just worried about the lack of marketing skills. How about that? I'll leave it at there. The lack of marketing skills. Senator Tuberville, you get the last word, sir.
You're exactly right, Larry. I brought it up last week in our caucus meetings on Tuesday. I had 3 or 4 other people step up behind me and said he's exactly right. Going through airports right now is a total disaster. We look like a third world country, and we're much better than this. Democrats are much better than this, but they love power. They love destroying President Trump, or trying to make sure that they destroy President Trump as his term goes. It's sad. It's really sad to see all this going on. And as you said, these kids trying to get out of these universities and go for a spring break, they can't get through an airport, much less through a spring break. So maybe we can get something done, Larry. I'm losing hope because we're losing time with President Trump, but he's out there fighting his butt off, fighting Iranians, fighting people that fight him every day. And he's getting things done. I hope NATO comes along and helps President Trump in the straits. That's going to be our big choice in the next week. I think he's looking for friends right now.
Well, he's got a lot more friends here at home. I don't know about NATO. NATO will probably help him, sir. They probably will. I'm just one last one. Does Senator Schumer, I know Chuck Schumer, I've known him for a long time. Does he get to go at the front of the line when he goes to the airport? Does he get to bypass everybody else and go to the front of the line for the TSA check-in or not?
No, he doesn't go through the airport. He gets on a private plane, paid for by the taxpayers, fueled by the taxpayers. He doesn't have to go through any lines. He's not down to reality. He needs to, all of us, we need to go back to reality up here. We need to do the same things American people have to do. And if we did that, a lot of these people up there wake up and smell the roses very quickly, but they don't live very tough, Larry. It's pretty easy up here in Washington, D.C. for a politician.
Thank you, Senator Tuberville. Good luck on this battle coming up. We'll check in with you from time to time. We appreciate it very, very much.